2024 Australian Grand Prix predictions. We're back at it again. If we see the GIF, whenever you see this GIF, you know some fire predictions are about to take place. 2024, third race of the season. Got a little bit to talk about. Just some little predictions here and there. Let's get into it straight away, alright? Now, step one. Pole position, I'm giving it to Max straight away. But, little note to this. I've got two people who I think might come very, very close to getting pole position. And that is Piastri. Oscar Piastri. We got the McLaren upgrades coming in for this race. The first time they're introducing upgrades this season. This race weekend. And also Charles Leclerc. I think both of these drivers will give Max a very good run for their money. I don't know how close, but I do suspect this will be the top three. Maybe we'll see Perez like in the mix, and this will be like, and that'll be like a top four. But I think that's what I'm feeling for the pole position. Now we can move into the main meat and potatoes, the race predictions. And what am I saying for today? All right. Now, if you're new here, we got DNF, self-explanatory. Goob noobs. You know, this is just a bad race. This is the drivers that have had a terrible race, something like that, but not necessarily a DNF. Shiest drive, the opposite. Is their drive shiest? Did they pull a few James Bond maneuvers, some baby driver? Good performances, but maybe not in the top 10. Maybe just a nice mention. And obviously we got top 10 point finishers, and then we got second and third, and then we got race winner. All right. Now, the Australian Grand Prix is extremely DNF prone, as we've seen in the last couple of years. And I do not think this will be any different. All right. Now let me get into this. Look, if he doesn't DNF soon, it's not happening for the rest of the season. I have to put him here. He's had too many races without a single problem. Hey, shout out my dogs in the back, by the way, if my audience can hear that. Dogs in the back, they're going crazy. But if Max doesn't DNF soon, like, he just never will. Like, it's going to be early in the season. This race is obviously very, very DNF prone. The last time I predicted Max to DNF was on Bahrain. And then it went on to be the only race in F1 history without a single DNF as the first race of the season. Which is actually so unfair, to be honest. How can it do that to me? How could that do that to me? But we got Max Verstappen DNF, and alongside him, I've also got Lance Stroll. Just feels right. A back-to-back DNF would be terrible. That would be quite unlucky. Or I say unlucky. You know, maybe it won't be his fault this time. We'll see. But alongside Lance, I've also got cooking up here the entirety of the Haas MoneyGram Haas F1 team. I'm feeling it. They've had their good little two races where they've showed some promise and, you know, scored points. Now something kind of funny has to happen to them in my eyes, like a double DNF, both drivers DNFing. That sounds about right. You know, I can just see it in Drive to Survive already. The next season 6 or 7, whatever it is. I can see it. Two great races. You have the K-Mag train with the whole clutch on the points. And then immediately double DNF. It just makes sense. It's kind of funny. It makes sense. I can see it. Now moving on, that's gonna be our DNFs for today for this race weekend. And for Goob Noobs, only one Goob Noob, Daniel Ricciardo. Shout out the Daniel Ricciardo vid I just uploaded. Check that out if you have not seen it already. Just a little yap sesh about Daniel Ricciardo. But I don't really anticipate Danny Rick giving us any good performances. Not yet. I don't know. He's given me no reason to think that he will. And honestly, I think putting Daniel Ricciardo in Goob Noobs is kind of cheating, because he just had a terrible race, and the race before that wasn't amazing either. Yeah, like it was like okay at best. So this is maybe kind of cheating, because maybe it's expected for Danny Rick to have kind of a mid race, but yeah, he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be having these types of terrible races. Now, onto Shiest Drive. Kind of had a tough time deciding what I wanted here, to be honest, but I've decided to put Williams. I've put the Williams boys here. I don't really know how well their car will actually fare on this track. I expect them to kind of have the best race they possibly could have. I don't know where they'll end up, but I think both of them will do good. Qualifying, I think we might see a double Q2 at least. We might see Logan finally break out of Q1. That'll be nice. I expect him to have a pretty solid weekend. Maybe not points, but maybe, right outside of it, the 11th to 13th range, something like that. And we got 4 DNFs in my DNF predictions, so maybe something will cook up. Maybe something will happen here. But I have been chefing up. I've been in the kitchen. I've been slaving away. And let me show you my top 10 predictions, right? Because with 4 DNFs, you can have a little bit of shiest in there. Now up to the Oki, I've got Yuki Tsunoda for my 10th position. I expect him to have another good race. I expect him to keep improving. I think his qualifying is going to be very, very good. We're probably going to see another Q3 from Yuki, more than likely, or at least just outside of it. But I can, if he doesn't get Q3, I would be kind of shocked because his pace has been just so solid for so very long. So Yuki 10th is where I'm going to put him. I was also debating on putting him 8th, but I've decided to put Joe. I think it is time for Zhou Guanyu to get some points. He's put in some good performances. Like Bahrain, very, very good drive. Probably a top 4 drive in that race. Then Saudi Arabia, he got kind of done in with that terrible pit stop. He was, he also got stuck behind the K-Mag train, the penalty train, which is just very, very unlucky. Not too much you can do there. So I think Joe in 9th. I'm chilling with it. I think these two are probably interchangeable. I expect them to be kind of close this race. No matter where they are on the grid. The top 10 just outside of it. But that's what I'm feeling right now. Now moving on to 8th position. I've got the Russ man. We've got Sir George Russell. He's not actually a Sir yet. I don't really have much to say about this, to be honest. Then I think it's about time Hamilton does better than him in a race. I think it's going to be now. Because Hamilton's quite good on the Australian circuit, on Melbourne. And that's about it. Don't have too much to say about the big Rossman. He's been doing very, very well. But, you can't win them all in regards to your teammate, unless you're Max or Alex Albon. Or Yuki, just saying. So, 8th place seems, about right. What could be a bit controversial, though, is 7th I have Carlos Sainz. I say controversial. This could be a weird pick, but so many of the teams are so close together towards the front. You could kind of place these guys anywhere in this kind of group, and it doesn't really matter. He is just coming off of the appendicitis. Again, shout out the dogs in the back. They are still going crazy. Sorry if you can hear that. But Carlos Sainz coming off the appendicitis, or that smooth operation. 7th just seems about right. Again, a lot of these spots are kind of interchangeable. So let's just move on with the swiftness, and I've got the other Mercedes driver, the main man, and the other Ferrari driver, Lewis Hamilton, Sir Lewis Hamilton, an actual Sir this time. Again, he's quite good around the circuit. We're unsure about the W15. It's like he is by far having the worst go of it out of the 2 Mercedes drivers, but I'm sensing a bit of kickback from Lewis on this one, and it's about time. I think George, over the course of a season, this goes against my initial season predictions, by the way, but I think Russell it looks like he'll have the leg up on Hamilton this season, especially with George becoming the main driver of Mercedes in the absence of Lewis Hamilton leaving for next year for Ferrari. So over the course of the season, I expect George to probably have the upper hand, to be honest. I think this is going to be one of maybe like 5 would be crazy, maybe 1 out of 10 or 7 races where Hamilton will beat Russell in, concretely. So I've decided to put him there. And moving on to 5th, we got the Mexican Minister of Defense himself, Sergio Perez, which is quite the fall-off, because, to be honest, Perez has given me no good reason to think why he should be placing 5th, at all, to be honest. And honestly, I recognize that, and some of us just have faults, and my predictions are very often kind of insane. But I'm really just not feeling it. You won't have his little maxi taxi. He might have to start pushing pace properly. I don't think he's got the cheese cut out. I think it's time. It's time he left the podium, to be honest. And Matt Gallagher, I think, just gave Perez a biggest flop, and it's tough to go against Matt Gallagher's biggest flop prediction. That is actually kind of a death sentence. So, fifth, for a biggest flop, Matt Gallagher, fifth, I'll take fifth any day of the week. Moving on to my fourth position, we got Fernando Alonso. He's on here this time. I want to make it a sincere apology. I am kind of an idiot. I had 11 people in my top 10, or I had 11 people in the top 10 overall, and Alonso was in 11th, and I sincerely apologize. My bad. But now, let me fix this. I can smell an Alonso fourth. I can smell it. I'm smelling it cook up. Easy here. The Prince is back. And you know who else is back? Charles Leclerc. And I know you can already smell what I'm cooking for second and first, if you haven't kind of whiffed it up already and seen what's going on here. But Charles Leclerc for my third place. It's hard to get this guy off the podium. He's just very, very sensational. And I think he's top. I don't think he's gonna place outside of the top 5 for a very long time. He's just in great form. He's gonna cook up. He's gonna warm up. He's gonna show Lewis Hamilton what he's coming up against next year. Charles, very good on this on the Melbourne circuit. I don't really expect any mistakes from him here. A mistake from Charles, or like a bad performance, would be kind of crazy. So I'm putting him in my third place. That bronze medal. Now, moving on to second and the race winner, because it's very obvious. Unless you think I'm going to say something crazy like Pierre Gasly, I have got Lando Norris in second. Again, this is the McLaren upgrades coming in. This is the first set of upgrades. And we know how powerful these upgrades can be. We also know how powerful these upgrades can be on a home race, which is why I'm putting Oscar Piastri race winner on his own circuit with the upgrades coming in. He was looking hard off the last race. He's looked phenomenal. He's fixed the tire degradation issues. His pace is rapid, proper rapid. I'm expecting big things from the Piastri man on his home circuit. We love this guy. The real Australian driver. Never forget that. The GOAT. So I'm expecting a McLaren 1-2, which is which is a nice return to form I'd like to see after Lando's kind of dodgy strategy. What was it, like a seventh place or whatever it was he finished last time? Kind of a dodgy race. They tried to cook up something, but they'll cook up something this time. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. So the McLaren upgrade's coming in on a home circuit, and I think that the narrative is also just going to be really funny, where Piastri just wins his home race as his first race. That's sick. And B, beats Lando and wins a race before he does, not only as a sprint, but also an official, actual, proper Grand Prix. That is hilarious. And that's kind of what I'm cooking up with these upgrades. So, quick little recap. Going from 10th to race winner. Yuki Tsunoda in 10th position. 9th, Joe. 8th, G. Russell. 7th, Carlos Sainz, smooth operator Sainz. 6th, Lewis Hamilton. 5th, Sergio Mexican Minister of Defense Perez. We got the Alonso holding up on the 4th. Charles Leclerc, a beautiful man, most attractive man in the sport, in the business, maybe the planet. Cooking up a 3rd. Lando Norris 2nd. And our true Lord and Savior, the next Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, we're cooking up a 1st with a Max Verstappen DNF in the wings. And that's what I'm feeling. If Max doesn't DNF here, I'm sorry to break it to you. That's going to mean 20 out of the last 20 races are all Max Verstappen wins. And he's going to win the rest of the season kind of handedly, unless we see some big potential from this race. So, can you blame a man for living it? But anyway, that's been me. That's my 2024 Australian Grand Prix predictions. We're cooking up. And if Max wins, we're doomed. So like, yeah, I'll see you in the wings. All right. This has been Vilgax Cash Money on all socials. Weeksy.ult on Instagram for the beat. Thank my boy. And I'll see you guys after Max either wins this by 20 seconds or Oscar Piastri wins this by 3 seconds. All right. Peace out.